All right, I don't know what blew more, the wind that we had in Metro Detroit or the end of that Tiger game. Sorry about that, and of course now I made a bet, one of those gentleman agreements where you shake hands and say, all right, what do you want to bet without being money? And the deal was if the Minnesota Twins beat the Tigers, I would wear a Yankee hat. And that's the only Yankee hat I had. I don't have a Minnesota Twins hat, and I don't know if I'd wear that anyhow, but the Yankee hat I said I got, I'll bet you that. So, there's your Yankee hat. Since the Tigers didn't pull it off. Hi, everybody. Welcome into the Parker and the Man page at yournews.com. The webcam, Mark Wilson with you. And, wow, what a ball game. That's about as much fun as you're going to have in watching a ball game as you'll see anywhere, ever. Yeah, you know what? Go in and out of focus. I don't care anymore after that one. What a way to end the season. Game number 163. And looked a lot like the previous 25, 30 of them. The Tigers just trying to hang on for dear life and just couldn't do it against the Twins in front of 54,000 plus at the Metrodome. They were about to close up that joint for baseball, and they're moving on. They're playing them, and I got to wear the hat. It doesn't mean I have to wear it forward. I could wear it backward, I suppose, which I might have to change to after I fulfill my obligation. How long has this been going now? I don't know. So I'll read all about that, the night that became a night. It started in the late afternoon. And it seemingly went forever. Back and forth we went. Big hits all around from both teams. Mags with a big homer. Cabrera hit a homer through the controversy that he's had after the assault charge on his wife. Minnesota getting the big hits when they needed to, too. Nick Punto with a big one and doing the things that they had to do. And then finally the end of the game, the inch thing. But there's a lot of stuff, You could do the webcam forever on this one. But just read about that. The bigger issue, of course, is the Tigers choked. And they blew the season when they had a lead of 3 games with 4 games to play and couldn't get it done. 7 games with 26 to play, couldn't get it done. You have to relate it to the 64 Phillies. Complete collapse by that team. They were up up 6 with 12 to play. The Chicago Cubs back in 1969. Even though they lost their lead pretty much in August, but they were up 9.5 on the New York Mets and blew that in 1969 to allow the Mets to have the miracle Mets year. This is the first time that a team has blown a 3-game lead with 4 to play in the history of baseball and not moved on. So the Tigers in rarefied air, and Jim Leyland and Dave Dombrowski have to be awfully embarrassed. Mike Ilitch, he's 80 years old now. His dream of a World Series victory, he got the World Series in 06, but not the victory. Waits another year. And, of course, the Tigers wait another year to win a division. Still haven't won one since 1987. And those pesky Twins, man, those unbelievable Twins. Ron Gardenhire's managed for 8 years. He's won 5 Central Division championships. Just keeps pulling them out they never lead. They just lead on the only day it matters, which is the last one. Even past the last one now, as it turns out. And it makes up for the fact they lost last year to the White Sox 1-0 in the last tiebreaker. It was a year ago, play-in game. So I could go on and on and on, and I already have, but you can just read all about that at the Wilson column there at yournews.com. And Rob Parker, he did it again. He was right. He said they would not make the postseason, and he did, and they didn't. I don't know if he expected it this way, but they didn't make it. Also, check on the Wings being back in America now. Joe Louis Arena, they finally have a home game against the Chicago Blackhawks Thursday night. Alexander Ovechkin, amazing, 3 games in, he's already got 5 goals. Rush Limbaugh wants to buy the Rams. Okay, I'll leave that alone, although I write a little bit about it. LeBron James and Braylon Edwards, Michigan's Braylon Edwards, with a little spat going on. If you didn't hear about it, you can read all about that as well. And LeBron, that's like Braylon and LeBron together. LeBron James and Shaquille O'Neal, first game together, preseason game for the Cleveland Cavs. And you can see how they did there. And if you're still into golf, here we are, the winds are a-howling. I can hear them now. But the President's Cup begins Thursday in San Francisco at the Harding Club. And you got your Tiger Woods, your Phil Mickelson, 12 guys versus 12 guys, all the stuff, the medal play, the match play, all that, best ball stuff. It all begins. It's been very quiet. You haven't heard much about that either. I hear the wind's blowing, but I don't hear much about the President's Cup. So there it is. It's been a long night, huh? I'm wearing a Yankee hat. I can turn it around now, can I? I'll turn it this way. There you go. Yankees and Twins to start the postseason Wednesday. Everybody else plays, but the Tigers ain't. I said they would get there, and they didn't get there. So do with it what you want, peoples. You give it a whirl, you give it a shot, and you end up wearing a bad Yankee hat. That's what happens to you. So all that's there. The Wings are back in action at Joe Louis for the regular season. The Ovechkin stuff. Rush Limbaugh wants to buy the Rams. Did I mention that? LeBron and Braylon, LeBron and Shaq, and the President's Cup Golf. It's all there for you on the Parker and the Man page. Check it out early and often. Happy navigating. And soon again, we will open that Parker and the Man e-bag right here on yournews.com.